Welcome back to C Square. In this lesson we will talk about equation, and first of all, an equation is a sentence that equals the equal sign, that contains equal sign. And to solve an equation means to find the value or the values sometime of the variable that makes that equation true. So let's take a look to a first example. This one, x minus 22 equals 53. In order to solve this one, you want to get rid of the minus 22. So for that reason, I'm going to undo the minus by adding 22. And you have to do it on both sides to keep the balance. This 22 cancel this 22. And we have x equals 53 plus 22, that will be 75. This is the value that makes the equation A true in this example. Example B, very similar. The only difference, we have x plus 63 equals 129. So we want to get rid of the plus 63. So we're going to subtract 63. We're going to undo the operation of addition by subtracting 63. We're going to have to do the same thing on the right side to keep the balance. So we're going to have x equals 129 minus 63. That will be 66. The third example, we have 3x equals 72. We want to undo the 3 times x. So for that reason, I'm going to divide by 3 to get rid of the 3 here. We have to do the same thing on the right side. Divide by 3, and the solution will be x equals 72 over 3, which can be simplified, and that will be 24. You can take this value and plug it in, replace x with this value, and see this value is going to make this equation true. D, we have x over 7, x divided by 7 equals 14. And in order to solve this equation, the simplest way will be to multiply by 7. X divided by 7, we undo the operation by multiplying by 7. That will cancel the 7 you see here. Don't forget to multiply by 7 the other side. So we have x equals 14 times 7, which is 98. You can take this 98, plug it back in your equation where x is, and you'll make the equation true. The last problem you see on this type of problem is this one, and we have 2/3, 2 over 3 times x equals 1/2. In this case, you want to multiply by the reciprocal of 2/3, which is nothing else than 3 over 2. You flip 2/3. You have to do the same thing on the other side to keep the balance. Now these two fractions cancel out, they are reciprocal, so we have left x equals, and we have 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 2 is 4. All these 5 examples are what we call one-step equation. On my next part of the lesson, I will talk about equation that requires more than one step to be solved. And the first one you notice is 12x minus 8 equals 28. I will add 8 here first to undo the subtraction. To cancel this minus 8, I have to do the same thing on the right side. And we have 12x equals 36. And now we are here with this equation, and in order to get rid of the 12 times x, if you remember, we're going to divide by 12. We did a similar problem in the previous part of the lesson. So x will be 36 over 12, which is nothing else than 3. The solution of this equation is x equals 3. You can take this 3 and replace the x in the original one. You will make the equation true. B, very similar. We have an equation that says x plus 5 over 3 or divide by 3 equals 7. The first step I will do it, multiply by 3 to get rid of the denominator. Don't forget to do the same thing for the other side. So we have left only x plus 5 equals 7 times 3, that will be 21. And the last step will be to subtract 5. And we have x equal 16. On the next part of the lesson, we will look to equation where we have variable on both sides, like this one. And you have to write what we call equivalent equation. And in this case, for this example, my first step will be to subtract 4x to get rid of this 4x. Don't forget to do the same thing on the other side of the equality, on the left side. So now let's see what we have. We have 3 plus 6x minus 4x is 2x equals negative 5. And now this equation is similar with the other one we talked about. I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. So then I will have 2x equals negative 8. And the last step will be to divide by 2 to get rid of these 2. Don't forget to do that on the other side, the right side in this case, and we end up with negative 8 over 2, which is negative 4. This is the solution of this equation. Next part of the lesson, we're going to look to equations that contain grouping symbol, like parentheses you see here. So the first thing you want to do is to remove these parentheses, and we do that by doing distributive properties. So we have here 7x minus 10 equals 4 times 2 is 8, 8x, 8 in fact, I'm sorry, minus 4 times 3x, that is 12, 12x. And now we have an equation with variable on both sides. So I will add 12x, but of course you can do something different if you want. To cancel this 12x, then we have here 7x plus 12x is 19x minus 10 equals 8. The next thing will be I will add 10 to cancel this minus 10. Don't forget to add 10 on the right side. So we have 19x equals 18, and the last step is to divide by 19 to get rid of this 19. Don't forget to do it on the right side also. So we have x equals 18 over 19. Another example where we have to remove the parentheses, and we have to do that multiple times. So let's start with the first one, that is on the left side. Then we have 5 times 2x, that is 10x. And 5 times 3 is 15, minus 15, minus 10. So this is the left side. And like I said, we're going to do the same thing in the right side. And we have 3 times x, that is 3x. And 3 times 2 is 6. And one more time in the second part, or on the right side. Be careful with the negative sign. So we have minus 6 times 3, 8, 18x, minus 18x, and 6 times 1 is 6, minus 6. My next thing will be to combine like terms, how we call them. And we notice on the left side we have these two guys that are alike. Those two new numbers, I'm going to combine them. 10x minus 25 equals, let's take a look on the right side. We have the x's here that are alike. 3x minus 18x is negative 15x. And we have the 6 and the negative 6, which in fact cancel out, or we get a 0 if you want. And now we have this equation variable on both sides. And in this case, I'll subtract 10x. It's easier in my opinion. We subtract 10x to get rid of this 10x. And then we have negative 25 equals negative 25x. The next step will be to divide by negative 25 to get rid of this negative 25 that is next to the x. Don't forget to do the same thing on the other side. And the solution will be x equals negative 25 over negative 25, which in fact is nothing else than positive 1. X equals 1 is the solution of this equation, is the a value that will make this equation true. Next part of the lesson, we'll see equations that have no solution or equations that are true for all values. So let's see the first one. And you notice we have a parenthesis, so we're going to have to eliminate this parenthesis first. So we have 2x plus 7 equals 3 times 4, 12, 12x, and 3 times 5, 15. Don't forget it's minus 15, minus 10x. And we notice here on the right side, we have these two guys that are alike. We can combine them. So we have 2x plus 7, that is the left side. And on the right side, 12x minus 10x, that is 2x minus 15. And now let's say you want to get rid of these 2x. So you're going to subtract 2x to get rid of these 2x. Oh, and you're going to have to do the same thing here on the left side. And now you notice that this guy here is going to give you 0x or just 0. So we have 7 equals negative 15. And whenever you get a statement like this, which obviously is false, 7 is not equal to negative 15, that means the equation has no solution. Let's take a look to B. B similar to A. We're going to do distributive property. We have 4 times 2x, it's 8x. 4 times 5, it's 20. Minus 2 equals 8x plus 18. And we notice here on the left side we have the plus 20 minus 2. So we have 8x plus 18 equals 8x plus 18. And some of you may look here and say that is interesting. I do agree with that. We get the same thing on the left side and the same thing on the right side. But let's say you want to solve it and you want to get rid of this 8x. So you're going to subtract 8x. You're going to have to do the same thing on the other side. And now you notice on the left side 8x minus 8x is 0. So we have only 18. And on the other side we have also 18. So this here is a true statement. This is true. So that means this equation, all value of any value in fact that you have in your mind will make this equation true. It's true for all value, in other words. This is also called an identity. An identity, whatever you have on the left side is the same thing with what you have on the right side. And then you see that in this statement we have here. My next part of the lesson will be to see equation that contains fraction, like this one. And in this one, you want to use what is called the least common multiple. So first thing you want to do is to find the least common multiple of 2, 3, and 6. And that will be 6. That's the guy you want to multiply the left side and the right side. So we have 6 times 1 over 2x plus 1 over 3 equals 5 over 6 times 6. And now we're going to use distributive property here. Go slow and in fact copy. We have 6 times 1 over 2x plus 6 times 1 over 3 equals 5 over 6 times 6. So now we can simplify. And what do I mean by that? We're looking here, 2 goes in 6 3 times. So we have 3 times 1, that is 3x. And similar here, 3 goes in 6 2 times. We have 2 times 1, that will be only 2. And on the right side of the equation, this 6 cancel out, 6 cancel out the other 6, or 6 goes in 6 one time. And we have 5 times 1, which is 5. So by finding the least common multiple and multiplying by it, you eliminate the denominators, and in this case we get this nice equation. On this one I'm going to subtract 2 to get rid of the plus 2, and then we have 3x equals 5 minus 2, that is 3, and the last step will be to divide by 3 to get rid of these 3. Don't forget to do the same thing on the other side, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. The solution of this equation is x equals 1. Similar with this one, we need to find the least common multiple for 3, 4, and 5. And here you can also simply multiply these three denominators, these three numbers. They have no common factors. 3 times 4 is 12, 12 times 5 is 60. That will be the number you can multiply by both sides. 60 plus times x over 5 plus x over 4 equals 4 over 3 times 60. So one more time, the least common multiple is 60 for these 5, 4, and 3. And now we're gonna go the same way, easy on these. Copy and do the multiplication, the distributive property. Right, and then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna simplify. So 5 goes in 60 12 times, so we have 12 times x, that would be 12x, plus 4 goes in 60 15 times, and you have 15 times x, that will be 15x, and 3 goes in 60 20 times, and we have 4 times 20, that will be 80. 12 plus 15, that will be 27. 27x equals 80. Divide by 27, and we have x equals, okay, divide by 27 to cancel this 27. 80 over 27, which cannot be simplified. If you use the least common multiple, then you cannot simplify the solution. If you use any other multiple, then for sure you have to find a way to simplify your problem. And the last problem in this lesson will be this one, x plus 4 over 3 minus 4 equals x plus 5 over 4. We look into these 3 and 4, the least common multiple is 12, so that's the thing I'm going to multiply by. And again, I will suggest you to go slow, do the distributive property. We have 12 times x plus 4 over 3 minus 12 times 4. And here I forgot to say multiply by 12. So you want to be sure you do the same thing on the left side and the right side. And the right side, we can keep it like that. In this moment, we also can simplify if you want. So now let's simplify. 3 goes in 12 4 times, so we have here 4 times x plus 4. Use a parenthesis. Minus 12 times 4 is 48. 4 goes in 12 3 times, so we have 3 times x plus 5, or x plus 5 times 3. Multiplication is commutative, so you can rearrange if you want. Distributive property 2 more times, 4x plus 16 here, minus 48, and here 3x plus 15. And by now, probably you know, we need to combine these like terms. So we have 4x minus 32 equals 3x plus 15. Multiple way to do it here, but I will personally subtract 3x to get rid of these 3x. So we have here just x minus 32 equals positive 15, and the last step, add 32 on both sides to get rid of this minus 32. So we end up with x equals 47. And this was the last example in this lesson of solving equation. If you enjoyed this video clip, don't forget to click the like button and come back on C-Square for more help. Thank you.